Welcome to this week YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the avoidance and procrastinating and postponing our regeneration. It is so common for many givers, myself included. I've done that many times in the past, to think about waiting for the right moment to postpone. You might have heard me say, don't wait for the big vacation or the weekend, just renew today, regenerate today. And there is this side of us sometimes that habitually puts off regeneration and self-care for later. And I want to bring some steps that might help us befriend that. And just to introduce myself, I'm Dr. Ioana Popa from Team for the Soul. And I bring this blend of science, psychology, spiritual care, and ancient Christian faith. And I invite you to join this oasis in the midst of action, to finding ways to regenerate or renew on the go in the hustle and bustle of our lives in such a way so that we can keep on giving and make this world a better place. So befriending our avoidant or postponing or procrastinating part, it is very common. We use that all the time for many situations, not for regeneration and renewal. And it is actually very helpful. And habitually, I'm pretty sure has helped us way back in the past, where we're either under pressure and we had to do so much, either schoolwork or home activities, and we had no choice of feeling maybe overwhelmed and just postponing and pushing a certain activity for later. And it usually comes with a sweetness, right? The minute we postpone an activity, we're like, kind of enjoying a little bit of respite. So this could be the key, actually, that this part that can postpone and procrastinate our self-care actually wants a respite. Looking at a numerous list of to-dos, things that we have to do, having to put our self-care one more thing on our list can feel overwhelming, and we're adding one extra activity. So especially if our idea of self-care includes elaborate activities. So it makes sense that this avoiding or procrastinating side of us will say, just do it later, not right now. And it actually brings respite. So the intention, it's possible, like with any part or aspect of ourselves, internal family system brought this idea that there is a function, there is a job, that any reaction that we have might have potentially a good intention. So it is possible that this procrastinating part, what it actually really wants is respite for us. And is just pushing back to an idea of a self-care that it's extremely elaborate, as I mentioned before. So as with any part or aspect or younger version of ourselves, we want to really find out what the job is and really acknowledge and send compassion to that side of us that has been conditioned in a certain way. And in the same time, we want to reconsider underlying beliefs and myths that this side might have vis-a-vis of what does it mean to postpone self-care and regeneration. And I will give you 3 possible ways to think about postponing and what does that mean in such a way that it might help us to make a choice to regenerate and renew now in the present moment. So here are those 3 things. Number 1, choosing to postpone or inaction is actually a choice. Many times by postponing or procrastinating, we're actually making a decision. So by not making a decision, we're actually making a decision. And this is an important thing to ponder about. We think, oh, I'm choosing later. We're actually choosing now not to choose. So I know it can feel like a mind twister, but the reality is that every second we make choices, and postponing, it's also a choice. Number 2, in that split second, when we make the choice to regenerate later, we actually push our chance to regenerate, because what happens, we dissociate our attention from the present moment into a distant reality. And this dissociation from the present moment starts this perceived separation between the experience of I and the fullness of the experience of our true self internally. Because ultimately, in our inner microcosm, we only have access to choice and action in the present moment. So we actually can only regenerate and feel renewed and replenish now. So as we habitually push it in the future, that future, we tend to live into this dissociative state. So when we have the time, we don't even know where to start because we've habitually pushed it in the future. And number 3, the ultimate regeneration and renewal is actually when we connect and we get plugged in with our true self, what mystics call the ultimate awareness, the divine, the uncreative light of God. So as we push regeneration in the future, and to do a certain activity, something elaborate or even simple, taking a walk in the forest or stay on the beach. This is all wonderful and is very regenerative. The only issue is that the underlying belief is that we need to wait for the right conditions to renew or the right activity to renew to really feel replenished. There's something external that we're seeking. So I want to challenge this belief because when we are seeking something outside of ourselves to regenerate and renew the external conditions, to enhance our ability to feel full and replenish, we actually are giving our inner power away because we are saying, I cannot have this. There's only something external that can fill me up, which means we're like a leaf in the wind. If the right externals are great, I'm replenished. If the right conditions that don't exist, I'm not replenished. Can you see how this pulls away the empowerment away from us? Of course, it is true that we need certain conditions and activities to enhance our ability to regenerate. Obviously, we need to eat, we need to exercise, we need water, we need certain activities to regenerate on a daily basis. We cannot live without food or water or warmth or safety or connection, right? But in the same time, if we only believe that this is the only way for us to regenerate, we're going to miss something essential. When we feel really good on a certain condition, let's say I'm going to go on the beach and I'm feeling really amazing. It's actually the external conditions, that beautiful sunset or the sight of a mountain. It's actually resonating with inner qualities that we already have. So when we can realize that, we can find ways to fulfill our basic needs and in the same time connect internally, empower ourselves to regenerate no matter what the conditions are. Because ultimately, the ultimate regeneration, the ultimate mini vacation, it's a state of internal being. It's when we are in synchronicity with whatever is larger than ourselves, when we're aligned with the divine, when we're aligned with a higher purpose, no matter what we're doing. I could be washing the dishes and feeling fully replenishing and doing it in a certain way. And when we're really aligned, body, mind, heart, and soul. Type in the chat if you have any comments about these mindsets and beliefs. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. So in summary, we want to really appreciate and send compassion to our postponing and procrastinating and avoiding side of ourselves. And we want to really sit with the underlying beliefs of the act of postponing. One, that choosing an inaction is also choosing. It's a choice. Number 2, that when we choose to regenerate in the future, we are dissociating our attention from the present moment, where actually we can regenerate and connect with our true self. And number 3, that when our needs are met, which many times are very basic, Our ability to regenerate is really an internal one. It's a state of being, so that the ultimate regeneration has to do when we are aligned with our purpose and with our what's larger than ourselves, the way you understand it. Mystics call it higher consciousness, divine, God. In Christian tradition, uncreated light of God, the image of God inside of us. And when we're connected and aligned, no matter what the activity is that we're doing, we have the ability to be plugged in. I love this verse from the Bible when we're talking that we are the grapes connected to the vine. No matter what we do, we have the ability to actually connect and regenerate no matter circumstances. And that is very empowering, that we're not just a leaf in the middle of our external facts and circumstances of life. So I'll leave with that. And until next time, I say goodbye for now. May you have a blessed regeneration and renewal and mini vacations in your inner being.